On average, you got about California spending about 50% of their income on homes.
LA and Long Beach are among the least affordable cities in the world for home buyers. If these areas are so expensive, why don't people move just 100 miles south to San Diego? Much better climate, much better government, and affordability. What do you think?
Well, listen.
Right now, over 216,000 Californians packed up their belongings and left the state in the past year alone. To put that in perspective, that's enough people to completely empty a city the size of Boise, Idaho. And they're not leaving for better weather or new opportunities. They're leaving because staying has become financially impossible for most families. This isn't a minor demographic shift. U-Haul has ranked California dead last, 50th place, for 6 consecutive years based on migration patterns. The state lost a congressional seat for the first time in its history following the 2020 census. And it's not just families. Major corporations that built their empires in California are relocating their headquarters to other states. In-N-Out Burger, founded in California in 1948, moved its corporate headquarters to Tennessee in 2024. Chevron, based in California for 145 years, relocated to Texas. Playboy Enterprises left Los Angeles for Miami. SpaceX and X, formerly Twitter, both moved operations to Texas. The numbers reveal a pattern that state officials have been reluctant to acknowledge publicly. Between 2023 and 2024, California saw 239,575 residents leave for other states, the largest domestic migration loss in the nation. The state's total population did grow by roughly 19,200 people, but only because international immigration offset the domestic exodus. Without foreign arrivals, California would have lost over 200,000 residents in a single year. The financial dimension of this crisis is measurable. In 2021 and 2022, California reported a budget surplus of $97 billion. By 2025, the state faced a projected deficit between $50 billion and $70 billion. That represents a fiscal swing of roughly $147 billion in just 4 years, driven largely by the departure of high-income earners who contribute disproportionately to state tax revenues. To understand how this happened, you have to look at the affordability metrics. According to the California Association of Realtors, a household needs an annual income of $213,200 to afford the median-priced home in the state. The median household income in California is approximately $96,500. That means the typical California family would need to earn more than double their actual income just to afford the median home. Currently, only 18% of California households can afford to purchase a median-priced home. In 2019, that figure was 31%. The decline happened in less than 6 years. The median price for a single-family home in California is now $850,680. At current mortgage rates around 6.25% with a standard 20% down payment, the monthly payment, including principal, interest, property taxes, and insurance, comes to approximately $5,330. Annually, that's $63,960 just for housing. Financial advisors typically recommend spending no more than 28% of gross income on housing. At California's median income, that $5,330 monthly payment represents 66% of gross income before taxes. The math simply doesn't work for most families. Some counties require even higher incomes. In San Mateo County, a household needs over $507,600 annually to afford the median home. In Marin County, it's $433,200. Even in more affordable areas like Sacramento County, the required income is $145,600, still well above what most residents earn. The situation creates what economists call the lock-in effect. Roughly 77% of current California homeowners have mortgage rates below 5%, many locked in at 3% or lower during the pandemic-era rate environment. If these homeowners sell and purchase another property in California at current rates, their monthly payments could increase by $1,500 to $2,500 for a comparable home. Many are effectively trapped. They have equity in their homes but can't use it without drastically increasing their housing costs. This reduces the supply of available homes, which in turn keeps prices elevated even as demand from new buyers weakens. Renting offers no relief. The median rent in California is $2,825 per month, roughly 32% above the national average. In major metropolitan areas, it's significantly higher. A two-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles averages around $3,200 per month. In San Francisco, it exceeds $4,000. For families trying to save for a down payment while paying these rents, homeownership becomes increasingly out of reach.
There's also a growing divergence between the cost of owning versus renting the same property. In California, owning a home costs approximately 62% more per month than renting an equivalent property. The monthly mortgage payment for a median-priced home is around $4,350, while renting a comparable two-bedroom unit costs roughly $2,680. This gap has widened substantially since 2020, when mortgage rates were at historic lows. The corporate exodus follows a similar pattern driven by costs. Between 2011 and 2021, 789 companies moved their headquarters out of California. During the same period, only 68 companies moved their headquarters into the state. In 2011, 137 companies had relocated to California. By 2021, that number dropped to 68, a decline of more than 50%. The departures span industries. Oracle moved to Texas. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise relocated to Texas. Charles Schwab moved to Texas. CBRE Group, one of the world's largest commercial real estate firms, moved to Dallas. Tesla relocated its headquarters to Texas. Palantir moved to Denver. Joe Rogan, whose podcast generates hundreds of millions in annual revenue, moved his operations to Texas, citing California's taxes and cost structure. There's also Proposition 13, a 1978 law that caps property tax increases at 2% per year for existing owners. This creates a two-tier system. Long-term homeowners pay property taxes based on their purchase price, which may have been decades ago. New buyers pay taxes based on current market prices. A homeowner who bought in 1990 might pay $3,000 annually in property taxes, while their new neighbor pays $12,000 for an identical home. This inequity makes it financially punishing to move within California, contributing to the lock-in effect and reducing housing turnover. The trajectory suggests this crisis will intensify before it improves. As more high earners leave, the tax burden on remaining residents increases. As housing becomes less affordable, more working families leave. As the tax base shrinks, services deteriorate, making the state less attractive to businesses and residents. Each factor reinforces the others in a cycle that becomes harder to break the longer it continues. The question facing California is whether this spiral can be reversed through policy changes, or whether the structural issues, political constraints, and economic forces have created a situation that will require a fundamental reset. For now, the U-Haul trucks continue heading east, carrying families who've made the calculation that their future lies elsewhere.